Everybody. Peter here, and my buddy, my friend, my comrade, Rafa on the other side. Rafa, how are you today?
I'm doing great. What's up, everyone?
Man, what an exciting time to be together. You know, Rafa, we're going to take a couple minutes. We got a lot of people joining us tonight for obviously because we're dropping a bomb tonight. But you know, not everybody who's joining us knows who you are. Even there's a lot of partners are that, you know, they hear about this mystical Rafa behind the scenes. Tell people as they're, you know, as they're joining us, what is the value that the amazing Rafa brings to the partner family?
Well, first of all, I'm just so excited to be here tonight. I do enjoy being kind of behind the scenes most of the time. Myself and my team, Kristen, my wife, Chelsea, Stefan, and the rest of the technical marketing support team, what we focus on doing is making sure that everything hits on all cylinders in every which way. Right. We do that for partner driven internally for our own purposes and getting our word out, our mission out to the world. But we also do it for our partners in technology and for deal driven. It's really a dream come true for me to have the opportunity to work with superstars at every front, superstars at Deal Driven with Ben Howerton, which by the way is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Ben. Superstars like yourself and Julie on the when it comes to the real estate and the coaching, right? And the rest of our team. It's incredible. So I think I have the easiest job in the whole universe, which is to keep the engine running for the superstars, right? There's a lot of technology involved in it, and I'm really grateful that I love and enjoy that kind of stuff. And it's really kind of what we're diving in today, because without giving away anything while we're still waiting for people to join us, you know, what we're going to share tonight is a culmination of years and years and years of dreaming to be able to create a process in a system that is as efficient as the one that we have to present today, and also as easy to use as the one that we have today, so that we can pass it on to our partners, to everyday folks that may not have technical backgrounds or have gone to college for business information systems and so forth. And I know, Peter, it's been something that's been in you and I's plate for a long time. And it's really been the last 6 months as we started this little secret project that we've gotten closer and closer and closer to the point that we're ready to beta launch this thing and to start taking some volunteers to help us run the system as we begin to smooth over the onboarding process, build all the training and videos for all of our partners. And Peter, this is really what I'm most excited. I know you're going to be really proud of us for this, really building a first class level support for everyone that's using this technology. Because as we know, it's a little bit different support than deal support. I mean, we already have first class support for deals, and we have our incredible team with Laura and Mary and Yuhi leading that charge. But their world is contracts and real estate deals. And should you do this or not do that? Or how do I talk to the realtor? It's a completely different set of support than what we're going to be getting into. And guys, we've been building this for a few months. We've been testing it for a few months. What I'm going to show you today is not theory. We're actually going to show you real live working campaigns that we have running, and hopefully inviting a few of you guys to come join us.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. By the way, as we're still got a lot of people bopping on, we're going to give it another minute or so. You know, one of the things I just love when you all share where you're dialing in from or zooming in from. So if you don't mind, put it in chat, put the city, put the state. That is very exciting. Let me just kind of piggyback right before we get started a little bit off what Rafa said. Gosh, when I got started 22 years ago, I would say I probably wouldn't have even needed a Rafa because 22 years ago, there wasn't the stuff that's possible now. I could tell you at this point, someone like a Rafa is invaluable. And not only is he invaluable to like myself personally, but to so many of you partners. The edge that what he does, the edge that he gives you, the advantage that he gives you, it is absolutely critical. And that's one thing that I love working with Rafa about or on. We're constantly like strategizing. Okay, what do we do more for our partners? How do we do better? And guys, today, like I said, we're dropping a bomb. Like today, it takes you from wherever you are to the next level as far as being an investor. So it's going to be big. Settle in. We're going to get started here. Oh, I got a selfish. I forgot the plug to make about myself. Okay. And I think Rafa knows where I'm going with this, but guys,
let's go with selfless.
But guys, for those of you that have been following me at all, know what I am absolutely jacked about here in the last 3 weeks is this new Instagram account I started. And I think if you're a partner, it's a must have. You absolutely have to follow me on Instagram. I'm doing everything real estate related, everything success related. I mean, literally up to 15 times a day, I'm going through the story mechanism. I'm sharing. And if you're not a partner and you're just trying to figure out what's all this stuff about, you got to join me. So if somebody could if Kristen, you could stick a link to my Instagram account in there. It's just my name. It's Instagram.com/my name, Peter Vexelman. Please follow me. I appreciate the support and it's really magical what's happening there. So, all right, well, let's get rolling, guys. Again, tonight I'm here with my super duper buddy, Rafa, but not only is he a super duper buddy, but he's also a partner here at Partner Driven. So before we get into the meat of things tonight, and guys, tonight we have meat of things. I mean, sometimes we do inspirational stories. Sometimes we do little techniques and techniques and strategies. Sometimes we showcase our partners, and every once in a while we drop bombs, okay? Like game-changing things. Tonight we're dropping a bomb. But before we get in there, I just want to take a couple minutes and share our story here, our partner-driven story, and what it is and who it is and why we do what we do. But at heart, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a 22-year veteran of this industry. I've literally done thousands of real estate deals. And for many, many, many years, I did what any typical real estate investor does. I went out there and I tried to find deals, and I did it very successfully, and I closed them, and I did something to them, and I sold them, or I kept some and all this. And I did it very successfully to a tune of I built out my own call center with callers taking calls from motivated sellers. We developed full-time negotiators. I had full-time closing agent on right in the office. I had construction workers. I then ultimately started setting up offices across the United States. I branched out from here in Atlanta to Jacksonville, Florida. Then we set up other locations all the way to the West Coast in California. And things were going great until one day we were just trying to figure out, like any business owner tries to always figure out, how do you get to the next level? I think very few business owners sit back and say, well, how do I slow down? I mean, I guess maybe if you're ready to retire, but very few business owners have the mentality, when you achieve certain success in life, you kind of want more, right? Like you want to get to the next level. And so I was trying to personally figure out, how do we scale this model of ours? And so we kind of came up with this crazy idea back then. We're like, you know what? Why don't we just start finding everyday people anywhere in the United States who need help to do deals? And why don't we partner with them? I'll give them all the money, and then we'll execute the deal and we'll sell it and split the profits. And the messaging took off like wildfire, and it was great, and we were having fun. But when we were doing it at that level, there were also some issues with the initial model, because these were sometimes unsophisticated investors. These were people that didn't know what to do. So, we were making mistakes. I've shared this in the past. I've lost a ton of money in the beginning doing some of these deals. We also made tremendous amount of money, but when you had something there. So I'm going to take you from where that started a number of years ago to where we are now. So what we are at Partner Driven now is we literally enable everyday people to do real estate deals. And we do that by providing to them what we consider to be, I think anybody would consider to be, the ultimate pillars of success when it comes to real estate investing. Number one, we provide coaching and mentoring to our partners. And I could tell you, there are some businesses you could learn as you go, like no harm, no foul, no big deal. I made a mistake. Real estate is not one of them. I mean, real estate is a business you could sneeze the wrong way and lose $10,000. So number one pillar of success in real estate in this business is you got to know what you're doing. And we coach and we mentor and we educate all of our partners. Number two, what almost nobody knows real estate for, but is a critical aspect of real estate, is you need a back office. Like, I don't think anybody ever got into real estate to do paperwork. I don't think anybody ever got into real estate to figure out how to clear a title or like figure out like how to read a term sheet. You know, no, none of us got into real estate for that. But guess what? You better be able to do all of that. So for our partners, we provide our back office support, okay, in terms of closings, paperwork, files, deal flow, and all this. The next pillar of success is you got to have some leads coming in, right? Real estate, we never claim it to be easy, but not only is it difficult, it's competitive at finding deal side. So you need an advantage. And so that's the other thing. We help our partners with lead gen. In today's world, you better have technology. If you don't have technology in real estate, you're not just like in the pack, you're going to be left behind by the pack. Mm-hmm. So it is a critical component, a pillar of success in real estate is to have technology. We provide that to our partners also. We provide money. When deals are found, many deals need capital to do them, to buy them, fix them, hold them, whatever it is we decide to do it. That's all on us. By the way, with that side, we also provide something that is absolutely critical. We assume all the liability. Because guys, I will tell you, even after doing this for 22 years, we still make mistakes. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, I stroked a check literally at closing for over $100,000 to close a deal out with a partner. And so if things go wrong, it's all on me. I'll never come to a partner for anything if things go wrong. So bottom line is we assume all the liability. And the final pillar of success we provide is rehab and construction help if a particular deal needs it, okay? We then put them in the market, sell them, split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And in essence, that is our partner-driven model. So some of you guys are our partners here tonight. We're so glad you're here. You know what I'm going to tell you, right? You're going to reset, recharge, recommit, and we're going to get you to the next level. And I promise you, today you will reset, recharge, recommit, and tonight you'll go to the next level. Some of y'all are not our partners. Some of you guys have been kind of testing the water. You've been talking to a team member, and you're here tonight for a specific reason. You're like, I'm either in or out. So for those of you that are going to be ready to be in tonight, we actually have a number of team members on standby tonight. And all you have to do to get a hold of them is just simply call 770-746-8585. I'm sure that'll be in your chat. 770-746-8585. So for those of you that are ready to join the partner family, that means you've probably already been talking to a team member and you're ready to commit, please do that. Some of you guys just kind of ended up on this call, right? A friend of yours told you about us. You may have been following us on social media and you're at the very beginning of your journey. And we welcome you here also. And the way we like for people that are excited to kind of start the journey with us, there'll be a link to the website, www.partnerdriven.com. And just go there tonight after the webinar, take a look at who we are, what we do. And there you'll have a chance to input your information in there. And then a team member will touch base with you and we'll figure out if we're a good fit for each other. And then off we go. We're going to be running. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, like I said, Peter Bexelman here, my good friend Rafael Zabala on the other side. Guys, what we're going to share with you here in the next couple minutes is a game changer. See, in real estate, there are some things that absolutely we as investors need to make things happen. Like for instance, we need some rehab, right? I've done about 3,500 deals in my career now, and thousands of them needed some kind of rehab, whether it's experience from me or someone else. You know, there's negotiations, there's raising capital, there's closings, there's buying things, there's finding the right realtor to sell things, there's finding the decorator. Sometimes we bought properties that needed surveys. Real estate literally is one of those businesses that literally has a lot of moving pieces. But I will also tell you as an investor, there are some moving pieces that are more important than others. Like for instance, I'll be honest with you, and sometimes I joke around about it, but 22 years in this business, like I have no idea how to even estimate a forget a $50,000 rehab. I couldn't even estimate a $5,000 rehab. Okay. So, but look, it's gotten me this far. So bottom line is in real estate, a lot of moving pieces. Some are more important than others. But when you separate the ones that are more important than others, there's one or two that are the most important of all. There's one or two pieces in this business that are just kind of like, I call them the non-negotiable. If you cannot figure out how to get these pieces in place, like nothing else matters. Like literally nothing else matters. And what we're about ready to discuss with you guys tonight is one or two of those critical pieces. This is a must have. This is like the thing that we all as investors chase after, right? 22 years in this business, guys, you know, if they say, gosh, Pete, what's the one thing you're still chasing for every day? It is what we're about ready to discuss, right? I'm not chasing for the next contractor. I'm not chasing for the next hard money lender. I'm not chasing for the next closing attorney, but continuously I chase what we're about ready to get to discuss with you. Having said that, I will tell you, aside from being such a critical piece, I will also tell you, as somebody who's been in this for a long time, there are no questions shortcuts in real estate. Like, for instance, let me tell you, like, I'll just use myself as an example, okay? Like, shortcut, long way. When I got started, I decided to do everything the long way. I don't know why, but I decided to do everything long way, right? And that long way caused me to lose money, go almost homeless, you know, make bad decisions, lose credibility in the marketplace, lose some friendships, all that stuff. So when people say it only matters how hard work matters, but there are shortcuts to success. And what we're going to introduce to you tonight is a shortcut to success. It's not a must-have. Not everyone here tonight is going to be like, I'm going to use this. I get it. But I will tell you, as a veteran of this business, this is an absolute shortcut. So think about this. Just take a second. If you think about it, what is the one thing that we're always chasing as investors in this business? And that's this, a motivated seller, right? We're looking for somebody that wants to sell a property. You know, when you hear me talk and teach about real estate, you know, people sometimes will say, Pete, what should I be doing? Like Pete, lay out the calendar for me. And this is how I lay out people's calendar. How much time do you have to work on this business? Oh, Pete, I got an hour a day, or I got 3 hours a day, or I got 20 minutes a day. Here's what I say, 95% of it, look for sellers, like people that want to sell their properties. Like, there you go. There's a calendar. There's your road to success. You know, people sometimes would ask me, well, Pete, go back when you started and what got you out of the disastrous hole you dug. You know what I answered them? I said, what got me out is what I called my 2-day strategy back then. It was very simple. My strategy was to identify 2 people a day that kind of threw their hands up and say, yeah, I guess I'll sell. That's it. They weren't necessarily going to give me the property for nothing. They weren't tremendous equity deals, but they were just 2 people that would like raise their hand. And literally, I went from like losing everything I had, basically making myself homeless, to going 2 a day for the next couple of years. And I went from 0 to hero. Okay. So any way you slice it, you know, people say, well, Pete, I want to make money quickly. Okay. How many sellers a day can you get a hold of? Right. So almost anything that you want to do in this business, make money quicker, make more money, you know, get to the end goal, be able to retire. I'm always steering people back to this thing. It is all identifying people that raise their hands and say, yeah, I guess I'll sell. And anything you could do to shortcut that process, you're going to shortcut your journey to success. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And so a lot of times people will even ask me, Pete, well, okay, Pete, so I'm already doing that every day. And so what I tell them is this: you cannot guarantee anything, but what you can control is your numbers. You can control your numbers. You know, if you're every day making 5 outbound calls a day, you can then make 10 outbound calls a day. But ultimately, here's what else happens. What if you had tools in place to help you increase your numbers? Right now, a lot of times we teach people to increase their numbers by like tapping into another resource, like hire a caller, or, you know, get somebody to make calls for you. But then now you're talking about training, motivating, you know, they're quitting all the time and all this. The only thing the thing that like precludes all that, but still allows you to scale, is what if you had technology on your side? What if you had technology reaching out to sellers? What if you had technology reaching out to sellers like on your behalf? Not in a general kind of a form they found somewhere on the internet, I possibly want to sell. But what if you had laser focused technology that on your behalf would start reaching out to sellers by calling, by texting, by emailing. And this whole time, the seller is under the impression that I, Peter Vexelman, am the one reaching out to them. And what if this technology did it? And when the seller says, yeah, I got a property I want to sell. What if this technology then notified you, right? And when you call Bob, Bob's like, oh yeah, Pete, yeah, we've been texting back and forth. I'm so glad you're calling me, right? And so not only is it speeding up the process on your behalf, but it's building your name up. And let me tell you something, that is a piece that many times goes very much unnoticed in this business. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. There's a saying, and Rafa knows this, in marketing, usually people have to be touched multiple times. Like if I out of the blue see something that I want to buy, even if I want to buy it, I'm like, I don't know the company, I don't know the guy selling it, but if that guy or if that company constantly touches me multiple times through different marketing techniques, what that does is that builds up credibility. So like when I used to do a tremendous amount of direct mail, we would literally mail to the same people over and over again. And people would always say, gosh, Pete, what a total waste of money. But what they did not understand is that almost all the time, when we bought a property from a seller, and at that closing table, we did what we always try to do. Like, how'd you hear about us? It was always, Pete, your people would just like call me every month. Pete, you would get a card from me every month. So when it was time to sell, we called you. Now think about it. To do that, I had to spend a tremendous amount of money. I had to have a call center working for me. I had to spend, when I say I spent over 6 figures a month on direct mail in those days, I'm not exaggerating at all. Because even then I couldn't utilize technology. The other thing about technology that I love to pieces is it's a lot cheaper to scale. A lot cheaper to scale. To scale direct mail, it's a cost thing. It's just if you have money, you scale it. If you don't, you don't. But when you really truly understand the value of technology, finding motivated sellers for you, it accomplishes multiple things. It allows you to scale. It builds brand recognition. It builds a relationship with that potential seller without you having to do too many things. And it does it in a way that is beyond cost effective, like beyond cost effective. So when you start looking at the pillar of success of a motivated seller, I'm claiming it right now, it is the top pillar. We all are chasing we are all chasing it. Mm-hmm. And if you could increase in terms of your ability to find that motivated seller to any level, you're moving the needle in your business. It's the quickest way to move a needle, right? Finding a motivated seller a month quicker than the other way. Finding 2 motivated sellers instead of 1 motivated seller, right? So there's no quicker way to move the needle in the real estate investing industry than to find something that allows you to find motivated sellers quickly. And so what I'm excited to share with you guys tonight is the journey that Rafa and Kristen and Stefan and Peter and Julie and Delania and Patty and a number of other people that I'm sure I'm overlooking have been secretly on for the last several months. How to put this technology to use and how to make it available to our partners. By the way, guys, we've hit some dead ends in this journey. This was not something like one day I wake up and I'm like, hey, Rafa, motivated sellers, can we get that done tomorrow? Rafa's like, yeah, no, sorry. And so we have gone down a number of wrong paths. We have spent a tremendous amount of money going down directions that we shouldn't have even gone down. And as we started dialing this in, I still remember a conversation one night, Rafa, I'm gonna hit on you a little bit, okay, if you don't mind. A couple months ago, we're having a conversation with Rafa. And Rafa is, although he says he's got the easiest job in town, he really doesn't. He probably has the least appreciated one, because the only people that could truly appreciate Rafa is like myself and the Julies, because we see what he's doing behind the scenes and we see the impact. Whereas most people don't see what he's doing behind the scenes. They just see the impact and they're like, well, I guess it just happened. It doesn't happen. Rafa's probably got one of the toughest, if not the toughest job here. And he's fallen on a sword many times for no fault of his own, other than we push. And I remember a couple months ago, he and I are talking at night. We do a lot of check-ins, little huddles at night. And because we always put tremendous amount of pressure on Rafa to get things done, because when Rafa gets things done, our partners benefit. And I remember one night we were having a conversation and he said something to me along the lines like, I think we gotta, I gotta just take just a small break on this. And I literally remember I got mad at Rafa. I said, no, we're not taking a small break on this. This is the one thing we will not slow down on. We need a system that allows our partners to find deals quicker, more efficiently, with a lot less stress and a lot less headaches. Because ultimately, that is how we get to the big mission where we're closing a deal a day with our partners. That is like my personal goal that I have put in front of everyone here at the partner driven level, that by the end of 2021, the reason I ran with this mantra, 2021 best year ever, a number of fronts. But one of the big fronts is by the end of this year, I challenged everybody here, get to the point that we're closing a deal a day with our partners. And there's nothing that I think we could have done for our partners in terms of expediting that. I can't think like, what could we have done? Could we have provided more money? No, because I don't care how much money you have if you can't find a motivated seller. Could we have taught rehab estimates better? Don't forget rehab estimates if you don't know how to find. So there's no other needle that we could have moved in this business than the ability for our partners to find motivated sellers and to do it quicker, more efficiently, with a lot less stress. And so this was a project that's been very near and dear to myself, to Rafa, to everyone behind the scenes. We a lot of times individuals champion causes. This one was championed by us all. And when Rafa and the team brought this one across the finish line a little while ago, and he's like, I'm ready to start testing. I don't know, man. I was just like, I put myself back to where I was many, many years ago. I would have died for something like this. I mean, because back then this stuff just didn't exist. I mean, it just did not exist. Back then you're calling white pages. I know most people tonight are like, what's a white page? That just tells you what a dinosaur I am in this business. It was all cold calling. There was no lists to even pull. It was all just very unsophisticated stuff. I could tell you, I would have if I had this tool in my hand, I probably wouldn't have gone homeless because of real estate. If I would have still screwed it up, I would have gotten myself out of the mess quicker. And there's no question in my mind with what Rafa's about ready to show you, I would have gotten to the promised land a lot quicker. This is a tool worthy of everything that had to be done by the team behind the scenes to do it. And we rolled it out just a little while ago from a beta standpoint. We took some of our top partners and we're like, you know what, let's test it. Let's test it. Guess what? Julie was even a tester. We don't have a better closer than Julie. And we're like, Julie, this is so important. And I know your time is valuable. And I know you're supporting a lot of people and you got a lot of people counting on you. But this is such an important project, so near and dear to my personal heart. And it's going to be so important. I challenged Julie. I said, Julie, I want you to test this thing. I want you to take leads from this. We took our top partner in the nation. We took the top partner in the nation who was already grooving and like nothing needed to be changed. And we're like, hey, would you mind testing? Because this may actually slow your things down. We know it's going to be great, but who knows? Things have been great sometimes when it didn't turn out to be so great in the beginning. And so we challenged the best we had. And we said, we got to get this grooving. And so we started internally testing it here in Atlanta in our own office. We started testing it with the top partner we have. And a lot of times when you test, you don't have the best results. You just don't. I mean, that's why, when they test rocket ships, they don't put like astronauts in them. That's not the time to test an astronaut. Elon Musk launched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rockets, and some of them blew up, by the way, before he actually put a live human to one of them. And so tonight, we could have come out here tonight and we were prepared to do it and say, you guys, this is the best thing since sliced bread, but we're still tinkering with it. And it's just, the results aren't that great. But guys, I'm coming up here with my head held high. The results have been phenomenal, like game changing. And we took some of our callers that have been with us for like a number of years, and by just introducing this tool that Rafa is about ready to show you a little bit the back door of, her numbers, like, check this out. This is a caller that's been calling for me. She used to call on my personal deals. She's been with me for years. We have over triple folded how many leads she's now kicking out. That's phenomenal. That's not done very quickly in this business, but we've done it. We've done it thanks to, and Rafa, it's amazing you're here tonight. I don't think we even planned it this way, but things kind of, you were the guy that belonged here tonight. The credit goes to you. And by the way, and the team behind you, who I love to pieces. One of them is actually driving the show here behind the scenes. That's the amazing team you have. So there's no better person to roll this thing out tonight than you, Rafa. I will tell you personally, just from an investor, forget anything else, but from an investor's perspective, to someone like you, a marketing guy, thank you. This is killer. This is freaking killer. I am amazed that we were able to put this internally together. I'm amazed at the speed to which you guys did it and rolled it out. My hats are off to you, to Stefan, to Kristen, and everyone else that was part of the journey. So without further ado, pulling back the curtain, Rafa, take it away.
Awesome. Peter, thank you so much for that intro. And you're right. Hey, guys, thank you guys for being patient as we're kind of laying this down, because you really have to understand the history to really be able to appreciate what we're going to be sharing with you guys today. Because as Peter just told you, the actual results that we are going to be sharing with you guys today are increasing by a threefold. The results of professional phone callers and generating out deals. So like if you can grab a Ferrari and make it run 3 times faster, you think you got something hot going? Absolutely. And so with that said, I want to jump in and share with you guys what it is, what we're doing, how you can get access to it as early as, or at least get on the list as early as tonight, right? And what our vision is moving forward with this. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen a little bit. Is that okay, Peter?
Let's do it.
Do it, guys. So I'm going to share my screen because I want to start the conversation there. I want to start the story briefly over at Deal Driven, right? For, as many of you guys know, Deal Driven is a software that we developed internally with the help of our brother, Ben Howerton at Deal Driven. About a year and a half, well, it was about 2 years ago now since we actually started the project. And the vision was the same as the one that what Peter was just telling you a moment ago. It's like, all right, guys, what can we do to help our partners be more successful? What is it? What haven't we done yet? What's already out there, but could be improved? Right. And so at the end of the day, we landed on the one thing that all business owners, this is not just specific to real estate, this is true for all businesses. It all comes down to, how do you generate more opportunities? That's it. That's all it is. And not only how do you generate those opportunities, but how do you automate, organize, and manage that process in a way that not only you could do it, which is the goal that we have in our hearts for 2021 for all of our partners. But guys, the opportunity here is bigger than that. It's not just how you could do it, it's how you could have a team under you doing it. And what I'm going to show you tonight, and the technology and the way that we're building this out, is specifically made to scale. But this journey started with Deal Driven a couple of years ago, because we were like, all right, how can we help our people locate more properties, right? And so with Ben Howerton, we developed the Deal Driven technology, and a lot of you guys are very familiar with it. But basically, we have over 1 billion records of every home in the United States, and the ability in just a few clicks to be able to pull up their information, pull up all of their financials, pull up what their mortgage is, click another button, get all of the contact information, email, phone number, everything that you could ever want, right? So that you can reach out and go hit that off-market properties, right? Which is the white whale that's out there. It's all about finding these off-market properties, right? So, wow, we were so happy when we did this. Deal Driven kind of knocked it out of the park in that sense. It met the goal that we were looking for. How do we find these properties? But it's oftentimes when it comes to technology, as soon as we solve one problem, we realize that we have another problem coming up, right? Because great. I mean, like we just gave access to our partners. And by the way, you can get Deal Driven even if you're not a partner. You can go to dealdriven.com and check it out yourself. I highly recommend it. It's incredible. But we just gave our partners the ability to generate thousands of leads in a few clicks, right? Imagine putting in your state or your zip code or your city and just looking for whatever vacant properties or whatever you want. And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads come up. What do you do then? And boom, that's when we had kind of a existential crisis. And we were like, all right, well, we've reached our goal, but in the process of reaching our goal, you know, how do we help them now reach out to the 1,000 people that we have? And of course, in our partner program, Julie does an incredible job explaining the process of jumping in here to Deal Driven and doing the outbound marketing strategies that work. What does outbound mean? Outbound means that I got the information and I'm reaching out to them, right? I have identified that they're likely going to be a great opportunity for me. So I want to reach out to them. And so we teach phone calling, we teach letter writing, you know, direct mail, as Peter mentioned, because all of these things still work, but they do take a lot of effort. But guys, that's the great equalizer in real estate. That's why real estate is something that people like you and me can jump into without having a lot of experience. Because at the end of the day, even the big guys, they have to break through the work barrier, the effort barrier, which means that it equalizes everything for all of us to come in. Is it competitive? Absolutely, right? But it allows, it creates an environment where even the little guy can come in, work really hard and make big guy results and make big guy money, right? So we got Deal Driven set up, and we decided to take a corporate trip in November with Peter and Julie, and we ended up meeting together. It's like, all right, guys, 2021, the message, like our company mission is, how can we fall in love more with our customers? How can we serve our customers more? What are we missing now? We invested several six figures worth in building Deal Driven. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. It's doing even more than we ever dreamed of, right? But so we saw the goal got closer, but there was still a gap. There was still a gap. And how do I get all this data that I just generated and put it in a way that our partners can just hit a button and start marketing to them and start having conversations? Well, guys, that's how the Deal Engine, our Deal Engine experiment was born, right? For the last 20 years, I've been working in marketing CRM systems, right? Marketing automation and CRM systems. And I love it. It's incredible, right? But Peter will be the first one to tell you, Julie will be the first one to tell you, oh my God. I mean, like, cross-eyed level kind of, technology, this is a pain in the butt to use, to work, to do anything with, man. Rafa, we got to make this thing easier. And man, have we struggled with that, haven't we, Peter? finding the right tool, the right way, the right process, because we realized that at the end of the day, what we wanted to do was simple. We wanted to grab deal-driven data, which we already knew is the best in the market. How do we know that? Because we have invested ourselves to make sure that it is, right? So we want to grab this deal-driven data, but then we want to put it into an all-in-one system for our partners, right? Now, these all-in-one systems, for you guys that have a little bit of a technical background, they're called CRM systems. They're called Customer Resource Management. And guys, they're all not the same. They're not all made equal. For any of you guys that have probably had the painful experience of working on a CRM in the past, you know, they're a little cumbersome. They're all technology. They're not made and tailored for the process that agent or that salesperson, that individual is running through, right? Because there's a big break in the marketplace out there, guys. You have people like me building technology by ourselves in a hole, and then not having the benefit of a community, not having the benefit of partners that we can really dive in and fully understand the needs and then build the processes and systems. So because of that, Most of the systems are crap. I apologize. I mean, actually, they take, because not only are they substandard, excuse my language, substandard, right? But God bless, they take 12 other systems to be integrated into this one system to make it all work, right? You have your CRM, you have your email marketing system, you have your texting system, you have your phone calling system, you have your scheduling system. Guys, any of this stuff sound familiar? I mean, this is how Partner Driven was born. We had to do all these things and all these separate systems. And why people like me have jobs is because connecting the systems and integrating the systems is kind of a big old pain in the butt until today, because as technology has continued to develop, right, we've been able to make some strategic partnerships that have allowed us to bridge and create an all-in-one platform that we can now bring in our awesome deal-driven data into, right? And that by itself is a huge freaking win, right? We had to figure out how we were going to do it for all of our partners also, because as you know, everything we do in Partner Driven is to improve our partners' levels of success. So we didn't just want to create something that we're going to sell to our partners. We wanted to create a platform that we could run for them. They're already partners with us. We're already benefiting doing deals together. Why not give them more power, right? And that wasn't easy either, because these technologies are also ridiculously expensive, right? For you to for someone to try to recreate it on their own, or even for us to try to recreate it over several hundred people, we are talking about 6 figures a month investment in the past, and the way of all those things had to be done. And it really made it really difficult to do. But guys, that's just the second part, because even if I could have that, roll it out to all my partners, throw in all the deal-driven data into it, well, what the heck do we do next, right? How do we set it up in such a way that our partners, they don't have to have a Rafa or a Kristen or on their team. They don't have to go write all of the emails and text and our strategy and how we're going to do our pipeline management, right? How about if we could set it up in such a way that was easily able for me to propagate it, basically turn it on, share it with the rest of my partners in a way that they got the absolute best from Peter and Julie. Literally, guys, we went on a vacation. We went on a partner vacation. And what we did was sit down at tables and work and writing scripts and emails. And please don't feel bad for us, because we had a blast doing it. It's the most fun that we have, is how we can take things to the next level. And so we knew the concept was easy, right? Now, how were we going to do it? So we were really fortunate, as I mentioned, through different strategic partnerships that we've had, to get clued in to a system that would allow us to do everything that we wanted to do, but needed to be basically kind of baked in by us. We needed to come up with what the strategy was, what the plan was, right? And so we launched our first version of Deal Engine HQ right after that end of November a partner vacation that we did together, and we began testing it, as Peter mentioned, with some of our top partners across the nation. Because if we were going to try to figure this out, I needed to have the best of the best working on it so that they could break it, or they could find what was wrong with it. It's really easy for me as a creator, or for any technology person, to sit in our little office in the dark with our little keyboard and go, oh my God, this is amazing. And like, leave it at that. No, I don't want any feedback. I don't want to hear from anyone using the system. It's already good. I've finished. I'm done. But as you guys know, that's not who we are at Partner Driven. We're not afraid of the hard questions. We're not afraid of failure. We seek it out, because we know that if and when I can find that something is broken and address it, then I can move forward, right? And so we brought some folks in, and today I want to give you a little tour of what that ended up looking like, right? In the results that we generated, because really, guys, I know you guys get to see Peter smiling on the webinars here all the time, right? But most of the time, Peter is like, how are we improving everything for everybody yesterday? And It wasn't until we launched this and he saw the results that a smile went from here to here on his face, saying, this is it. This is what we've been looking to build and provide for our partners, right? So the key to this, and I'm about to, I wanted to lay down the story because I wanted you guys to be really clear on the three major components of Deal Engine, right? Because we already know about Deal Driven and you guys have learned about it and how we can generate the data and stuff like that. We've talked about now the platform, the all-in-one platform, and I'm about to jump in there. But even that wasn't the key. The real key was how we automated our campaigns, right? How we grabbed what's inside of Julie's brain, because guys, it's truly an incredible honor to work side by side with a Julie, because, you know, sometimes I don't even know if Julie really fully appreciates her incredible superpower. She is a master at sequencing conversations with potential sellers. And to be able to sit side by side with her and do her strategy, it was incredible. And so what we did, guys, and this is just a little screenshot. I know this is crazy. This was outside of the house that we were staying at. And we taped up all these boards on the pillars around the house, around the pool that we were at. And we're like, guys, all right, so we're going to grab deal-driven data. And I'm like, all right, Julie, what's the best deal-driven data? And she was like, well, the best one. And she like laid out all of the different components, right? And we was like, all right, what's the next best list that we can build? All right, now we've built all these lists. We know that we can generate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads, of opportunities like that. What happens next, right? And that's where this next picture, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here, because I know this looks really simple, right? But I want to, and actually this is not the final draft of it, but this will give you a good sense of what we worked through. It's like, all right, so now, okay, so we got the data in there. What are we going to do next? Well, how about if we then use automation, Rafa, the automation that you've been able to create and we're using now internally at Partner Driven, right? Could we use it for our partners to automate texts going out, automate emails going out, automate phone calls, automate voicemails, automate freaking almost whatever you want, right? And create a sequence that where we're going to be reaching out to folks and start conversations. And so we call it ATC. And this is just an our internal phrase for it. It means attempt to contact campaign, right? And we kind of charted out, okay, well, this is what would happen on day one, right? Now we're not going to spam people and hit them like a million times. This is what's going to happen on day 3. This is what has happened on day 6, on day 9, on day 13, day 19. Guys, this campaign that we built out, and I'm about to show it to you. It's a 45-day campaign, right? Reaching out to folks that we have identified via Deal Driven that are potential hot sellers. Now, what's beautiful about the system, then this is something that Peter and I had not ever seen before, right? Was the ease of turning on and turning off campaigns. Because nothing's worse than starting a conversation with someone and they still get your stupid marketing text. Do you think you're going to build a good relationship with someone that way? No. Do you think you might piss some people off? Absolutely. Ask me how I know. I have upset many people through my marketing over the years, and I knew that that was an incredible problem. How do we handle this, right? So we baked into the technology, listen to this, that at the moment that that person responds, either by phone or calls you back, right? The system's all tied together. Listen to what I'm saying. Or texts you back, or emails you back. It's all going to one place, and it'll identify that this person has reached the goal of attempt to contact, which is contact, and the campaign ends. And at that point, the agent, the investor, the individual has the opportunity to choose what they're going to do with it next. So Peter, Julie and I and Chelsea wrote this up on the walls, and like Peter's like, all right, it's done. Go ahead, give it to the partners. And I'm like, whoa, it's not done yet, Peter. This is just a board on a pillar that we did with pen and paper. We have to take this to the next level. There's going to be a lot of kind of baking that we need to do to make this go. So what we did is that we ended up writing out all these campaigns, uploading the campaigns into the system, and then we got our 2 best callers in the whole network, right? And this is saying something, guys, because you know Peter and Julie have been at this for the last 20 years. We know we have partners that are big hitters as well. we got the best 2 callers in the whole network. And I'm so grateful because when we asked them, hey guys, we have some things that we want to do. We want to do them because we want to improve the experience of our partners. You guys are top of our partners, obviously. And if we can make it work with you guys, we want you guys to have the first bite at the apple, of course. But our goal is to be able to share this with all of our partners as soon as we can. And man, they did not. It's incredible when you're in a community of people that say yes. If people say, yeah, I am interested in helping the rest of my partners, instead of the selfishness that you can find in a lot of different places where the false sense of competition is like, oh no, I got to keep my secrets to myself. Your secrets aren't going to hurt you, man. Your secrets grow if you share them and you help. And so they signed up, they said yes, and we launched the complete new system inside of the dashboard for our partners. So guys, I'm going to tell you a little story here. I'm sharing with you the insight inside of one of our top partners. This is our partner, Seth, out in California. You guys have probably heard some of his stories. Seth is amazing. He's one of those guys that failure is not an option. And when he jumped into real estate, that's the kind of approach that he took. And he's taking that approach with everything he's done. He has built an incredible team, in the tens of folks that he has working with him in both the investor side and the real estate side. He's really squeezed the lemon, per se, the juice out of this in every which way. And when I told him, it's like, hey, how about if I'm able to automate phone calls, texts, and emails all from one place that you're going to be able to monitor, that's going to make your salespeople faster and do more deals. Would you like that? And of course, he's like, yeah, yesterday, Rafa. So we set it up and we started with our number one big task, right? Which was to set up the campaigns. Now, these campaigns are really quite complex, and we've built out multiple different campaigns. But today I'm just going to talk a little bit about our general campaign, because we realized that out of the top 5 super hot lists that we can generate out of Deal Driven, 3 of them is kind of the same pitch, right? For them, the non-owner occupies, the vacant properties. These are all people from out of state owners, right? It's kind of the same message for them, right? So we built out that same idea that we showed you. We built out into these campaigns where we automated a phone call. And I know this says manual call here, but I'm going to show you. It really means, in the system, it means auto dialer. I think it's a misnomer. But how we drop the leads then from Deal Driven, because again, for you guys to work with Deal Driven, you know that sometimes you're working with several hundred pieces of contact information, properties, and data, right? How many of you have ever felt overwhelmed with several hundred opportunities that you've never talked to before, right? Well, imagine we load them into the system and it puts them into an auto dialer for you, right? So that it drips through while you're able to just auto dial, click a button, and just moves through the system. If they don't answer, then they move into the rest of the campaign. We send them an SMS message. We send them an email, and everything is set up so that it automatically fills in all the contact information. So you'll notice here it says contact first name. That'll be the first name of the property owner, right? I reached out a couple of days ago about your home at contact address, and I didn't hear back from you. I'm a local home buyer in this town, and your home is exactly what I'm looking for, right? All we're doing, I love this because this was very different than what I'm used to doing, because I'm used to doing what we call call to action marketing. And that means that at the end of this message, it would say, click here to fill out a form, right? And Julie's like, no, Rafa, that's not how we're doing it. We're in direct communication with these folks via SMS, email, and stuff like that. I want the system be able to be smart enough that they don't have to fill out a form. They can just reply, and the system will know what to do next with it. And that's exactly what we did. So Julie, we call these curiosity hooks. It's just the ability they like, okay, they're getting a message. All they need to do, if they reply to either the phone number, email or text, right? It goes into one place, and I'm going to show you in a second where all the conversations are for that one record. right? So that you don't have to worry and wonder. It's like, oh my God, did I talk to John Smith? It's like, oh, I think he emailed me, or I think he filled out a form. I think we talked on a text. Oh my God, what a mess. How do you run a business like that, right? It's hard. Like some of us have figured it out because we're just hard-headed and or are willing to put the work in, right? But what if it could be easier than that? So this thing then goes out into a 45-day attempt to contact campaign, trying to get these people to reach out, respond. Guys, you can see some of these open rates, 38% open rate. Anyone that's done any type of marketing out there knows that you don't get that kind of open rates on email ever, right? And this is not just to tout the results of the system, is also to tout the results of our data, which is the key. Have other people tried to build marketing automation systems for real estate investors? Absolutely. Is it as good as this? No. And I'm going to show you why in a second. But even then, they didn't have what we have, which is the data, the deal driven, and Ben Howerton and the rest of the team over there have been able to build out for us, right? So you can see it goes into a giant campaign, and it's not until at any time that they respond, then this campaign ends and the agent takes over, which makes it incredibly powerful. So I mentioned to you at one point that the system also incorporates phone calling. You know, I think one of the hardest parts about phone calling or cold calling is that, you have to make a lot of them. And it's kind of a pain in the butt just to go through and hit the number to dial again, to go to, it's going to be 80% chance that it's going to be no one answers or you leave a voicemail. It's just kind of disheartening. And for anyone that's been in sales and cold calling, you know that feeling. It really, really sucks, right? But imagine the system, a smart system that knows where they are in the sequence, and depending on where they are in the sequence, it will put them into a auto caller for you, right? When it's time to call them again, it's like, all right, you last time 3 days ago, and your call system again, so that you're able to do this outreach automatically. In to do it painlessly, guys, painlessly. And that's exactly what we've been able to do with this system. So here in the manual actions area, which is really the auto dialer, imagine sitting in, hey guys, you only have 1 hour a day, or you have 3 hours a day, whatever it is that you have available to you, right? And be able to sit here and then just sit, let's start, and click one button, and that's it. And the system begins to dial for you from here in the on your computer, on your laptop. It pulls up all the information on that property and any additional notes, if they have ever contacted you back or responded or whatever the heck is going on, all in one simple place, right? So that you can run through tens, if not hundreds of phone calls in a week time period, when in the past you might have been able to only be able to do 50. And to do it in such a way where you don't have to worry. Here's the key, guys. All right, so I didn't reach someone. We know that's going to be the conclusion for a lot of our phone calls, and I know that's disheartening for you guys. But imagine if you knew that if you didn't reach them on the phone call, that they were automatically going to get a text, email, and voicemail. Would you feel better about making that phone call? You would. Your effort is not being lost. Your effort's it's not just being tracked, it's being supported, right? Because a lot of people aren't going to answer the phone on the first call, but if they get a phone call and then 5 minutes later they get a text and an email, and then 3 days later they get another phone call from you, right? Do you think that they're going to be more likely to answer? Well, if you are a doubter, I want to show you guys some of the results that are taking place, because it really is neither Peter nor Julie nor myself have ever seen anything like this in the industry. And it truly is a combination of the data and the process, right? So one of the great things about using a system of this nature is it helps you organize your efforts and be able to quantify and qualify what the heck is happening. What are you putting your efforts on? I know this morning someone asked in our private partners group, someone says, hey, man, sometimes I feel like I'm just repeating actions and I just don't know what's happening. I feel like, am I crazy to think that maybe I'm just doing it wrong or what. And I understand that feeling, especially if you're out there flying blind. It's really hard. But what if you weren't flying blind? What if you knew exactly what you've done, exactly what has worked? Or even better, and for you guys, for the smart people, well, and I know everyone's smart on this phone call, but for you guys, advanced people, right? What your team is doing, right? Imagine being able to have this kind of data and be able to actually grow a team under you and be able to manage it, right? And be able to say, hey, I know exactly how many phone calls have been made, how many have been missed. I know exactly that I have a 47% answer call rate. Now, Peter, I want you to chime in here a little bit on this. Have you ever seen anything like this in your whole life?
So let me talk to you, Rafa, from an investor's perspective. This is the shortcut I was talking about. This is really how to scale your business. In the end, you hearing me talk and teach literally on a daily basis. That's the one thing I have in common is you got to scale. And I always teach people to scale through other people, right? Because that's ultimately how you really, really scale. But this allows you to scale through technology. And when you scale through technology, you could scale quicker, you could scale cheaper. And in the end, because technology does not have to be trained, Ralph and the team already trained the technology, you could scale and get to the end result a lot faster. Guys, from somebody who's been doing this for 22 years. Now, I wish I could tell you that I was part of the effort of putting this together. But let me just tell you the part of the effort I was part of. As Rafa started slowly rolling this out, and remember, Rafa is a super geek genius. To him, do marketing, CRM, this is the truth. This is exactly how we started rolling this out internally in our team. Rafa put this thing together, and we all got on that initial call. And although I knew the end result was critical, I also understood how important the process to the end result was. And I remember we got on that first meeting. It was Rafa and Kristen, and I think a couple of our super genius callers that I referred to. And I told Rafa, I said, Rafa, this is too complicated. You got to dumb it down. You got to dumb this down to my level. You got to make it easier. And guys, one of the things we pride ourselves on here is being very transparent. And so what we decided to do is we started rolling this out. We decided to meet once a day. We decided to meet once a day with the marketing team and the callers and myself. And after that initial meeting, because I knew the end result was a grand slam, I knew the process was not easy. It wasn't dumbed down yet. I called Kristen that day and I said, Kristen, I don't want Rafa to be part of this. Rafa's not going to be part of these anymore because Rafa is just too smart, too geeky, too high level. We got to be at my level, like just raw investor level. And I remember I shot text to Rafa and I said, Rafa, we got these calls. We got this. We'll just meet with the team ourselves. And I could tell you there were two purposes of meeting beyond that initial meeting when they presented this to me. One, I wanted to hear from the people using it. Like every day, the callers, the Patty, the Delaney, they got on the phone and I just said, listen, are you liking it? What's the hole and what's working? And those were the two questions I asked them. And the thing I tasked Kristen with the marketing side, we got to dumb it down. Let's keep on dumbing it down. Let's make it so simple, so easy to use. Because someone like me who's not a tech guy, sometimes I won't use something that's helpful just because of the complexity of using it. And the goal is to have everyday, remember, what's our mission? To help everyday people do real estate deals. Not to help guys like Rafa do real estate deals to whom this is easy. So as we started kind of fine tuning it, I just wanted to know from the users, the initial callers, okay, is it making it easier for you? What's the hole we still got to plug? And what's really working so we could do better? And from Kristen on the marketing side, how do we dumb it down a little bit more? Just let's dumb it down a little bit more. Let's make it so easy, so easy. And I could tell you now, this is how it works now. We, by the way, stopped those calls. We stopped those calls because I finally every day we met, And I said to the callers, I said, forget who I am. If I'm a brand new partner, let's say, and I have one of two ways of contacting sellers. One, the way we've been doing up to this point, you go to Deal Driven, like Rafa said, you pull a list, you contact a list. Two, you use this system. What would you recommend that brand new person do? When they finally resoundingly said, Pete, are you stupid for even asking us that question? It's a no-brainer. I was comfortable with it. And when I finally got to the point where I would say to Kristen, can we dumb it down anymore? I said, no, Pete, this is easy now. This is a no-brainer. This is like 1 or 2 clicks, 1 or 2 screens. And so when the user said, by the way, these call, like Delaney has been with me for years, like I think 5 years, a day or 2 ago, she's been with me calling every day. That's all she does for me, is make calls to sellers. When Delaney finally came to me and said, Pete, it's a no-brainer. I've been doing this. I've negotiated tons and tons of deals. I've made you guys 7-figure profits on the back end. I'm all in on this side.
Awesome.
And when I went to them and said, is this easy to use? And they said, yeah, I got it. I said, we don't need to meet every day. So yeah, Rafa, we are exactly where we need to be now.
Absolutely. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve for certain, as Peter has pointed out, and we've been working on dumbing this down. You guys are seeing my panel, which is a little bit more complex as an admin. We've dumbed this down to 3 little places that you have to jump in. Right now I'm inside of conversations I wanted to share with you, and just to share with you how everything is easy to find in one place. Here, Kenneth Grogan, we know that there was an outbound phone call made, a text was sent out, and he responded saying, no, we don't own that house. Okay, great. That's good to know, right? I mean, like, it's absolutely incredible to be able to have it all in one place. Not only that, from a management perspective, if you're managing a team, you can actually listen to the phone calls, read the text, read the emails, right? And be able to support your team. Because one of the things that we hope that we are passing on to you guys is that it's the same spirit that we have. How do we help our team succeed? Because that's the secret to success. That's how a Peter becomes a Peter. He doesn't do it all on his own. He does it at one moment. Peter realized, hey, I'm really good at doing these certain things, but if I had help doing these other stuff, I could do more. And then he got that and he grew. And then he's like, well, shoot, if I could help those people that are helping me be the most successful they can be, I could grow infinitely, indefinitely. And that's exactly what's taken place. So I want to be really respectful to y'all's time and share with you guys what's happening, right? We kind of talked through a little bit. This is kind of a very high level go through of the system, what we've put together, and to announce that we are launching this beta, right? And I want to talk just a little bit about how this beta is going to work, right? Because number one, we really appreciate your patience as we've been rolling this out in the last couple of months. I promise you, man, there's no faster way to do stuff like this in a couple of months. I mean, we are screaming on speed because we want this to impact 2021. We don't want this at the end of 2021. We want this in the beginning of 2021, right? So we have now tested. We've shown you a little bit, kind of a bigger picture of what the results are. I didn't mention that. Remember how Peter said 2 a day, right? I think that in just a couple of weeks, Delana has turned over 70 deals, right? Back over to Seth, going through the system, right? This is triple the amount that she would be able to do before using other technology. For you guys who are out there using Mojo Dialer, we're not technology dumb. We were using other things. It's just that when you combine the sequence together, right, the results are drastically different. So how does the beta work? Who wants to hear how the beta works? If you guys are still with me, type in, yes, I want to see this beta. What's going on? Okay, guys. So this is how the beta works. And the first thing is first, right? This is not available to the public. Sorry, public. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we share with the public. We love doing all this stuff on Tuesday nights and Monday nights for motivation and sharing. We see a lot of value in giving back. But of course, there's stuff that we hold back just for our partners. And this is one of them, right? This tool is only for partner-driven partners, right? And it's going to be rolled out such, right? In this initial onboarding, as I mentioned before, we have to kind of go progressively through this and get some of get more of the right volunteers to help us continue to test this system. That's why it's called a beta test. Now, do we feel comfortable enough to be rolling it out to partners? Heck yes, we are there. But as a good little technology nerd that I am, I know that there's going to be challenges and problems that I'm going to find along the way, that my partners, my awesome partners, are going to help me figure this out, right? And so not only is how to use the system, but how we're going to onboard people into the system, right? How we're going to train people in the system, because there is a training process. We just went through our first learning curves with that, with our callers, right? And then even more importantly, how to build a 5-star support system to be able to support people on technology that they may have never used before. For anyone that's done anything like that, you know, this is quite a goal that we're working through. We feel incredibly confident and excited that we have built the right process and the right team. We've been hiring more people here at in my department to help us support this. And guys, we're ready, right? So there are a few things that I need you to know before I give you the link to where you can sign up for the to apply for the beta. Okay. And potentially be in our next round. But don't worry if you're not in the immediate next round, because this is going to be released to all of our partners. This is our promise to you. We need your help helping us get through this and be able to onboard it, right? So before you even sign up for this thing, number one, you need to make sure that you are a current partner. Or if by any chance you're on here tonight and you're not a partner yet, but you want to be, right? I hope that you do. I mean, this kind of brings in the final piece of the puzzle. We provide the funding, we provide the coaching, we provide the leads, and now we're going to provide the back end technology 100% for you to not be able to use it, not only to be able to use it yourself, but to even to be able to scale a team. Guys, this is freaking ridiculous, right? So first, you must be a partner, a current partner, right? Or be in the process of becoming a partner, right? Number two, and this is the most important part, and I know that you might be excited, and just know it might not be the right time for you yet if you can't answer, if you can't say yes to this next point. And then this is it. The people that sign up for this, we want them to be committed to putting in at least 4 hours a week into the system, okay? Because we know that this is an outbound marketing system. It takes an agent. It takes an investor running it. Now, you're going to find that this is so much easier and funner to do than anything else than you've done in the past, right? That you'll find that putting in 4 weeks into the week is super easy, and that you'll be able to actually scale more. Or maybe there's a team member that can even scale more, right? But for this first round, as we're fine tuning all of these processes, please be someone that's willing to be coached, that's willing to put the effort in, that's willing to deal with a little bit of a work in progress, right? Okay. The third one. Now, this is a big one, right? Now, for those of you guys that sign up for this and for the beta, we want you to know that we're providing this to our partners at no additional cost. All of the technology, all of the campaigns, all of the support and effort that we're doing we're rolling it into our partner program. We've already said why. Why? Because we love our partners. We want to see them succeed. We want to triple the results of every partner that on this call, right? And for that reason, we are providing it at no additional cost. With that said, there is a cost associated to running the system, and that is your phone calls and SMS costs. And all we're asking is for you to be responsible for that piece, right? Now, of course, this is a per use kind of situation, but let's say you are someone like one of our top phone callers killing it through the system, right? You know, you might be spending $100 a month extra, right? And for people that understand what this technology costs and stuff like that, understand that that's even less than what the actual technology costs. We're just letting you guys be responsible for your calls and SMS. And that will allow us to be able to roll this out for all of our partners, right? So that's an important thing to remember. And then the next one is that this is an advanced CRM system. even though I have put it through the Peter dummy test, and not that Peter is a dummy, but he definitely pushed me on it. Like, nope, Rafa, not good enough. Nope, easier. Nope. And so we've definitely put it through our litmus test of how we can make it as simplified as possible. It's still a CRM system, right? So for those of you guys to sign up for this beta, we need you guys to be people that are comfortable with technology, right? Maybe you have CRM experience in the past. That would be awesome. You don't have to be an expert by any stretch of the imagination. Through this onboarding process, we are going to be, or through this beta process, we are going to be training you guys, supporting you guys, and building out the training system for the rest of our partners, right? So we really do ask that you are, you know, someone that says, yeah, I have a laptop. Yeah, I can work on my work with technology. I'm okay with that. And by the way, I didn't mention this at all in this whole call. This thing has an app and runs everything that I just showed you tonight, runs right off of your phone too. So you don't even have to do it on your laptop. I just like the freedom of a laptop. A lot of our callers do it right off the phone, right? So, and then the last thing is that you're absolutely committed to become a deal engine, right? And not just a deal engine, but man, something that our industry hasn't seen ever before, because that's what we're creating. We are creating the next generation of real estate investors, right? And arming you with the weapons that it's taking us years to develop. And I'm telling you, this does not exist anywhere else in the world, right? And the ability to, I mean, frankly, I think we got lucky, Peter. I mean, it's just our continual drive to improve processes for our partners that led us down this path. If it wasn't because of that, we wouldn't have created this. Someone can't create something like this and says, oh, I want to go create the best system in the world. You don't know, right? But when you say, oh, I want to go do the best thing I can for my partners, that's the path that has led us to this. And I'm really proud of that. Okay. With that said, guys, there's only 3 more things, right? And we're going to drop the link for you now into this here in 1 second, right? But as you sign up, we're going to get back to you, but please be patient. Okay. You might not get into the first round of the beta, right? We're going to be moving this in rounds, and don't worry, we're going to roll it out to all of you, right? All of our partners that sign up today will be at the top of our waiting list, because we know that you guys are committed, motivated, saw the presentation and said, heck yeah, I want to be part of that. So there's a little value to patience, and there's value to taking action tonight, right? Number 2, please, and I know this is going to be hard. You ready? Please don't bombard support with emails about this. Or set up coaching calls with our internal coaches about this. This is a beta experiment that's really living on the marketing technology side. And today we own it, right? So they're not going to be able to provide you any more information than I'm giving you right now. And by the way, getting on this waiting list or the beta list is how you're going to find out all of the latest of what's going on, including the successes that we're having and everything else. I mean, it's going to be absolutely incredible, right? And guys, that's it. That really covers the things that I need you to be aware of, what we're expecting of you if you sign up for this process. Now, I did a little video. You can't see it here. When you come back to the page, I invite you to go through the video one more time. It's a 6-minute video that kind of goes over in a much more simplified version a lot of the stuff that we went over today, but just so make sure that you understand it. There isn't a rush to get into this beta. Like I promise you, we're going to get everyone in here. It's just for the ones of you guys that are on this call that know you could help us. We want to hear from you, right? So Kristen, if you can go ahead and put that link in there for me, right, into the chat, they'll be able to send it out there. It is apply.partnerdriven.com/beta. And you'll be able to come in. I mean, guys, we'll be able to fill out the form. We even ask you to make sure that you understand what it is that we're expecting of you, because this is next level stuff, guys. And we couldn't have done it without you. We couldn't have done it without the motivation to serve and support you. And we're not going to be able to do it, take it to the next level without your support and helping us make the system the best it can be. And with that said, Peter, that kind of covers everything I have tonight for the Deal Engine HQ. I hope to see lots of people filling out this form. Even if you're not a partner yet, but you know you're going to become a partner, make sure to call. Kristen, if you can call that number in there now and call our people. We have people on the line right now so that we can make sure to take you into consideration and potentially include you in this initial beta. But with that said, everyone's going to get it.
Yeah, big stuff, guys, big stuff. So, by the way, how quickly you fill out this form will not determine who gets in on the beta side. So if you don't mind, just give me a couple more minutes here because I want to round this whole thing off. And I'm going to put kind of the bow on top of this whole thing. This is big, guys. This is like, marketing gets excited over marketing things. I, as an investor, get excited over results. And I can tell you, this is a result-driven tool. There's no other way to look at it. This is the real deal. This is a result-driven tool. Remember, if you're a part.
And Peter, I'm getting a text from Kristen of something that she wanted to make sure that we said.
Go ahead.
And no. This is for everybody, right? Within the system, in the first beta test for Delania, working with Seth, our top partner, right? 20% of our phone calls turned into leads.
Let's hang up. That's kind of drop the mic and walk up. Guys, this works. This is a game changer. Remember, if you are a partner, you are going to get this. In a grand scheme of things, whether you're the first beta launcher or you're launched 30 days or 35 days from now, irrelevant, not in the big picture. The big picture is your partner. Keep going. Keep on doing what you're doing. Now, I'm going to do something fun because I always do something fun. Number one, I want you to, if you're a partner and if you're ready to get going, I want you to do that. But number two, because technology is involved, we have to be smart in how we roll this thing out, right? We have to. I want to roll it out tonight. Like if it was me, I'd just say, Rafa, can we just click a button and have all our partners do it? And when he tells me no, to me, it doesn't, like, I don't connect. Like, why can't we?
I lost all my hair, Peter. I've already lost all my hair, buddy. I can't lose anymore.
To me, I'm like, why? Wait a second. Why can we not click a button? And why cannot we get, hundreds of partners started tomorrow? We can't. It's a technology thing, and it's a capacity thing and all that. So we're going to roll it out. You guys are all going to get it. But I want to kind of gamify this a little bit. You know what? One of the things that I've always prided myself on is I always said I always wanted badder than anyone else. Whatever it was, I wanted bad, and I'm really to. So once you're done filling it out, when we sign off here in a couple of minutes, I'm going to go back to our private Facebook community, and I'm going to just do a quick post. I'm going to call it Deal Engine at the top. And why do you want to be one of the first beta testers? And I want to hear your story. I want to hear how you're committed, how you're willing to do whatever the heck it takes. And we, as we start rolling this out, I'm going to go back to these stories because in the end, the story tells a lot. But I also am going to follow you through on how you're actually performing and what you're doing and what you're committing to. So I'm going to do a quick post when we sign off here, and then I want to hear your story. And I want to hear your story of why it's important to you to get to success quicker, because that's what this tool is. Now, some of you guys are listening here tonight and you're like, yes, I want to be part of it. I'm not yet part of the partner-driven family. I'm ready to get started. I heard of all of other benefits involved. And this is a game changer. And by the way, for those of you that like hear this and get started with this, you will be part of the rollout. And we have a number of team members on standby tonight. And all you have to do is call 770-746-8585. And if you're ready to rock and roll tonight, call them. They're ready to get you started. Guys, this is what we do here at Partner Driven. For us, it's all about the end success for our partners. Simple as that. The more partners we get to cross the finish line of closing deals, the more successful we feel like we are. That's our goal. That's our mission. That is how that's our mile marker. How many people can we get into the family, and how many of them can we help cross the line of completing deals? Because when I started this an hour ago, I said I'm a real estate investor. But I can tell you now, I'm a real estate investor because I do deals with people across the United States. And I, along with the team behind me, provide what we consider and what truly are the ultimate pillars of success when it comes to being an investor. We coach, we mentor, we provide back office support, we provide technology, we provide lead gen. Today, we showed you, we provide seller motivated lead gen. Because anytime somebody raises a hand and says, I want to sell, that's called a motivated seller. We provide that. We provide funding on your deals. We help with construction. We sell and split the profits. And that is what the partner-driven model is all about. So I think we've said everything we could possibly say. Guys, on behalf of myself, Rafa, and the whole team behind us that makes all this possible, we love this. We enjoy this. Tonight is a game changer. Act on something you saw tonight. Do it. This is a game changer. And if you're a partner, I'm bouncing to our private Facebook community. I'm doing a post after you fill out the link that Kristen has showed you. Go there. I want to hear your story or why you need to be one of the first beta testers. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.